Hello, Itzzwan here and welcome back to another video. So, before we start this video, I like to just read this comment because it made me laugh. So, on my full CR deck video, I got a comment from Dreadnought and he said, "You have such good cards, but you play so bad, no other way to say it." And to be honest, I don't think I've ever read anything more true in my life. Like, I have a lot of cards and a lot of expensive cards, but to be honest, I don't really know how to play half of them. So, with that all said, my bag just fell down, well done. So, with that all said, let's go into the video. Today we are going to be talking about the release of Mythic cards, and I'm sure that everyone who follows Urban Rivals are aware of this update, but for those who live under a rock or don't follow Urban Rivals quite to the extent which others do, I just wanted to make a little update video explaining what Mythic cards are and what they mean. So, first question is, what are Mythic cards? Now, the best way I can put it is that, essentially, Mythic cards are a new type of rarity of cards. So, for years on end, Urban Rivals players have been familiar with 3 types of rarity. Or 4, actually. This is going well. So, first type of rarity is common, and naturally these are the most common cards, and typically the most cheapest. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily the worst, but it just means that when you're opening packs, they're the cards which you're most likely going to get. Next we get uncommon cards, which are slightly more rare and slightly more expensive than common cards, and after that, for regular cards, we get rare cards, and in case you can't tell, these are the more rare and expensive cards. Obviously that's not true and there are some really expensive uncommon cards, etc, but for a rule of thumb, that's typically how it goes. So, after the normal cards, then what we get is a CR card. These are the type of cards which you cannot find in packs, and they tend to be a lot more expensive and a lot more rare than your regular cards. Obviously there are some slight discrepancies with this rule when you get cards like Diego, which are extremely cheap, but that's due to them being bad cards, but these cards can range into the millions, especially when you look at the big fives. So, for years on end, this is how Urban Rifle players have known their cards to be, but now we've got a new type of card above Collector, which is Mythic. And essentially, the main difference between Mythic and Collector is that for Mythic cards, you cannot find them in token boxes. So what that means is that when you get 100 tokens, either bronze, silver or gold, you cannot find any of these Mythic cards within those boxes. So it means that getting Mythic cards is essentially restricted to events and doing really well in EFC. So that's essentially what Mythic cards are. Basically, they're a new type of cards which are a lot more rarer than Collector cards. So, second question is, who are the new Mythic cards? And to be honest, when I found out, this actually quite surprised me, that the 2 Mythic cards are Smokey and Ratanah. I was actually quite pleased when it came to what cards had been announced, because I actually own both Smokey and Ratanah, so, you know, considering that I didn't invest in any CRs, I'm just so glad that I actually managed to get both of the MT cards. I don't know how many people would have been able to predict that, but I certainly didn't. I didn't think Ratanah would have become a Mythic card, because I know she didn't become CR too long ago, and before that she was RB card, so I didn't think she'd be in line for becoming a Mythic card. However, I know that Urban Rifles are going to be putting out new comics where they'll actually explain why these cards have become Mythic in particular. I assume also what they're going to do alongside with the comics is they'll also do a sort of token deal or a pack deal, or I don't know, because last time they released a comic, they also did a special deal that if you bought one for comics, you'd get some free gold tokens. So they might do that as well, so that is certainly something else to look forward to. Yeah, apart from that, the only thing really which is needed to be noted is that for the new Mythic cards, obviously, Smokey and Ratanah are no longer CR, and they go by the tag MT, which is a bit weird, but I'm sure people will get used to it. And these cards are also meant to offer a Clintz or XP bonus. So, I don't know how long that's going to... Apparently it's permanent, actually. Okay, that's pretty good. But I assume, you know, these bonuses might appeal to those who use these cards quite regularly. And, you know, if you have 4 of these cards, have fun and see what bonus you get. So, pretty much to wrap up, a Mythic cards, just in general, is a new rare cards. That's pretty much what it is. Like, they're meant to be rarer than CRs and more difficult to collect. So, hopefully you found this video certainly informative, especially if you didn't know what Mythic cards were before, and I'll certainly keep you updated with what other cards might become Mythic or what cards have become Mythic. So anyway, I've been Itzzwan, thanks for watching, and goodbye.